Welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to help Anthony, that guy right there, put a real cd-009 transmission in his 03 50Z,
yes.
Right? 03 350Z. So yeah, I'm going to show you what you have to do to actually fit the 009 in the 03, because there is a couple of things. But yeah, let's get this show started.
Do we need to take the hood off?
We will probably take the hood off.
Well, then that's good, because
So,
I can realign it.
For you guys, a lot of people can just drop the transmission and leave the engine. I hate doing that because I have little weak arms and can't do that. So we're going to pull the whole engine. It's a couple more hours work, but in the end it will be easier, I think.
And shit gets clean.
Yeah, and we'll get to clean everything. You really get to analyze everything.
Headers.
And we're going to put headers on, as Anthony yells. But we just jacked it up, and now the next step is to get fluids out of the car. So the GoPro's dead, so probably won't do any time lapse, but I already got the wiring harness out of the car. Anthony's doing the radiator. It's still draining slowly. So he's just pulling the hoses. We're about to pull the radiator, give us some room. Okay, progress report. We got all the fluids out. The wiring harness is completely out, as you can see right here. It's pulled out of the engine bay, or the compartment, and we'll just keep the engine harness on the engine. Right now we're fighting the heater hose right here. This is basically stuck on it, so I've got to go get a special tool to grab it, wiggle it, and pull it off. We got the other side, but it was definitely difficult. Got all the belts off. I've got the power steering taken off and just zip tied over here so we don't have to drain the fluid. And then I've broken all these bolts loose for the AC. There's one up here and two on the bottom. And we'll do the same thing as the power steering over there. We'll just take it off, let it hang, and probably zip tie it around here. So while I go get the special needle nose pliers, Anthony's going to take off the Y pipe to the cat. Well, technically the cat and the Y pipe together in one section. So we'll just have the headers, and that's it. And I think it's like 1 something right now, and we started probably 12, maybe 11:30. So 2.5 hours. We'll be ready in another 30 minutes, especially if I didn't have to get this tool. So really doesn't take that long. You just gotta know what you're doing, pretty much. But yeah, we're gonna stop here, go to the store, and when we get back, hopefully that hose is off. And after getting the right tool, it's off. 30. Took like, man, we spent like 30 minutes trying to get that hose off probably before we went and got the right tool. So then it took like 15 seconds with the right tool. So if you guys are ever having problems with those, go get some of those. They'll work. But we got the AC off now. Just like I said before, you just kind of unbolt it and let it sit over here. Shouldn't be in our way when we pull the engine. I'm going to just use a strap to pull the engine, and we're going to wrap one around here, and then the other will wrap around this neck, and that's how we'll pull it. We got the Y pipe and the drive shaft, and then we can finish unbolting the shifter. I've already pulled all this stuff out, and now I just have to, you get up under there and there's a 12 or a 13 millimeter bolt you unscrew, and then you can take these 3 bolts out and take this whole thing off. But you gotta do the Y pipe first, and then the drive shaft so we can access that bolt, and then that's it. We're coming along. So I'm going to set up the cherry picker while Anthony goes up under there and takes off his Y pipe. That top bolt never comes out, which is shitty.
That?
This one.
Oh. Like it doesn't fully come out?
Yeah, so you just leave it in there.
Yeah, we'll just have to move this out of the way as we come
Yeah,
up.
you're here, so yeah, while I'm pulling it up, you're going to watch everything. So right now we're just going through and making sure everything's disconnected. And as y'all can see on the video, it looks like it. We pulled the drive shaft and the Y section. This is, Anthony made this. He's pretty good. Not too shabby. Anywho, this is the new cd-009. Well, it's used, but new to Anthony.
Better than the 01, that's for damn sure.
If we go in here, we've already taken out the shifter. Make sure you guys don't forget that. I've pulled several engines, and halfway through trying to yank it out, I've realized the reason why it's not coming out is the shifter is dragging on the tranny tunnel. So make sure you don't make that same mistake. But yeah, we're about to, I got the cherry picker all set up. We're about to swing it on. And
don't forget to mention that you punched me in the face with a wrench.
Oh yeah, I did.
Cocksucker.
You guys see that? Gotta get him back somehow. No, I was enjoying the music. I just, as always, forgot to start filming. So, the engine is out. We have a casualty. Strap is casualty 1. And that's casualty number 2. Thankfully, he's not casualty number 3.
Right?
So yeah, the engine fell probably a foot in the air. Is how high it was when it fell. But engine looks fine so far. It looks like the only thing we did was crush this line and this line. We've already ran and got replacements from a spare car. So hopefully that's it and crisis averted. But right now we got some used aftermarket headers that we're gonna put some new wrap on real fast. And I don't know what brand they are, but
I think they might be Megan.
you'd see. I was going to say that. They definitely look like Megan. So while he's doing that, I'm going to zap off this tranny real fast. Because we got a brand new 6-puck clutch from Z1, right? Concept Z? Yeah. They're all the same fucking thing.
Pretty
But
much.
actually, I like Concept Z better than Z1. Z1 seems more
I
China.
gotta hand it to him. I paid a little bit extra for the expedited shipping, and I mean, all my stuff was at my doorstep within like 2.5 days.
Good
So,
deal.
Definitely a shout out.
So, Concept Z, give us some money. This thing was a fucking pain in the ass. This is like, how many miles are on your car? 70 something?
89?
Yeah, so 89,000 miles. This thing's never been pulled out. So it was definitely a pain in the ass and probably wouldn't have been done if we didn't pull the engine. So there she is.
Your mom?
Okay, so got the dual mass flywheel off. You can see, I do not like these things. Why you have another sprung thing? You have a sprung disc. Why are you springing the flywheel as well? But when we did that, we realized that the seal for the rear main cover is leaking. And that's an issue, especially with a new clutch. We don't want to put the new clutch in there, get oil on it, and then glaze over the clutch, and then the brand new clutch is ruined. So we're checking right now if like local parts stores have it, like O'Reilly's and shit. I don't think so. I think we're going to have to call Nissan. And of course we're doing this on the weekend, and it's, I don't know what time it is, 7, 8 o'clock at night. So Nissan's definitely not open right now. So we're going to try to find the rear main. If not, we're going to have to wait till Monday when Nissan opens. But there's still lots of things to do. We're doing the headers, and we're going to paint those. He's already got one. We're just kind of patching them because we're going to paint it anyway. But yeah, this is the new flywheel, which is chromoly, and it actually comes with the timing grooves already in it. It's all one piece as well. So I actually like this design a lot. The Fidanza, which has the friction plate that bolts in, this back here, the timing gear is actually bolt-on the Fidanza. And on high horsepower cars, like that 350Z in my other video, it's actually broken those bolts loose from the aggression and dumping the clutch. And thankfully we pulled the clutch before it caused any damage, but I do like that. This whole kit, I think he paid like 500 something for it, for the clutch and the flywheel. So it's a really good deal from Concept Z. I'm liking what I see. It looks like just a generic pressure plate that they painted, but I mean, that's all you need. A good disc. You got the springs covered on the pressure plate side. It's open on the flywheel side, but you know, not everybody. I saw on Jimmy Oak's video the action clutch is closed on both sides. But yeah, was very. They have it.
They got it.
The rear main, or like the whole
They got
thing?
the rear main, and it comes with that gasket.
Oh, hey. So looks like O'Reilly saved the day, I guess. So we'll come back once we got it. We're back at the shop, and where we just left off is, you know, we found out that was leaking. So what I think I'm going to do is, what we've discussed is putting a strap right here and picking it up with the cherry picker and getting the motor to turn this way so we can just sit in our chairs and have it sideways. It will leak a little bit up into the valve cover, but I think not too much, especially since we're just doing 90 degrees. But that's the plan. So we've kind of added a whole day because of this, but you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna get started doing that. To show you, this is what I was talking about. I just took the strap around the center header. Even if this runner cracks, it's got to crack both of these as well. So I'm pretty confident. I thought about it for probably 15 minutes or so. Yeah, it should be fine. So next is I'm gonna take this oil pan off, and we've got that little deal to catch any oil that falls down. So we'll get to that. So the oil pan's off, so you guys can see. He was due for an oil change, which he was waiting because we knew we had to drain the oil to pull the engine. But everything else looks quite clean. Turn on the light so you can see. But there's a little staining, but for 90,000 miles, engine looks pretty good. It looks pretty clean. It's been taken care of. There's no shavings or metallic stuff in the oil, so the bearings look to be good. But you can see those bolts right there are why I had to take off this pan so we can take off this pan. And again, because there's a little gasket right here that we have to replace when we do the rear main. But if you guys don't know, these pans are really easy to bend because it's metal and it's just Mega Gray holding it on. So an easy trick is to take a couple of razor blades and hammer them in like this, hammer one in and then come in with the second. Hold on, I'm having trouble picking it up. Come in with the second and kind of hammer it in like this. That frees this one up, and then you can kind of just walk it. And I did all of this side, and then all the way down to here, and then came in with my little bitty pry bar, this little thing, which comes in handy. And I have it flattened especially for this. It's ground down to a very fine tip. And so then we hammered it in here where it was already pried off, and came off pretty easy. And it's still pretty flat. So managed to save this. A lot of times it's so bent you have to flip it over on the concrete and hammer it back flat. But it doesn't look like we'll have that issue on this. Does look like we have to take off some stuff for the oil filter, the water lines, for this to come off. So we'll do that off camera, and when we come back, this will be off. Oil pan's off now, or upper oil pan is what it's actually called. And again, I just use a little razor blade here, slowly down the line, and then I was able to put a pry bar here and get it. And then you can see there's a little scoring, but it's actually outside the gasket set. Like, that's where the pan sits. So it didn't go into the gasket set at all. And I'll clean that up, flatten it back so you can't even see it. But again, pretty clean motor for 90,000 miles. And you got to do all this when you replace the rear main, because they have this gasket right here. And you have two dowel pins right there and one right there. So the rear main has to go on straight. And if the pan is there, you can't fit this gasket in and press it in straight. I've seen people try, but you end up with a leaky rear main, or this is leaking. And then you don't know that until the car is running and it's all put back together. So it's better to just do it right the first time, take the pan off, and we'll have everything new. Anthony just ran to go get a upper oil pan gasket set, which comes with this seal, which we already have because it comes with the rear main, but it also comes with the front seal. It's missing right now. You can see the groove where it sits. The one thing we can't get are those two O-rings. Apparently auto parts stores don't carry them. That's a Nissan only part. But I pressed on them. They're still soft, and they're actually protruding above the block surface, so they're actually still good O-rings. So we'll be fine there. We've got to clean that surface. We've got to clean both of these because we need all this old gasket off, and we got to get in these grooves and get all that old gasket out of the grooves as well. And then we can finally go to what we were doing to begin with, which was pulling the cd-001. Pretty sure that's what that one is. And putting in the 009, which, if you guys don't know, is out of a 0506 350Z. They have upgraded synchros. They have way better synchros than the 01s, all the way to the 08s. 008s, whatever. We had, I don't know if I've already said, but we had the strap break on us, and actually broke that line and crimped that one. Yeah, now that I'm talking about it, I remember I already showed you guys, but we still need to change that as well, which shouldn't be a big deal. But we're moving right along, and yeah, we'll just keep going. Next is this rear main, so I'll take that off. That's what she looks like when it's off. You can see I've already scraped it with a razor blade. I don't want to damage it at all. So I just called Anthony. He's going to pick up some Scotch-Brite pads while he's picking up the gasket set. So we're kind of on a standstill on this. So we'll go over here and swap these lines out real fast. Now we have lines that aren't going to leak. Don't have big holes in them. So I just sprayed it down again, and we'll just make sure no fluids seeping out of any of it. Pretty confident it's not, but got it all tight. And O'Reilly's is being retarded, so Anthony's still over there trying to get the stuff. So I guess next is to move over to the cd-009 and show you guys the difference. So this is the new one. This needs to be a longer pivot ball instead of the short one. That's the big difference as far as like setting it up. So you got to take this out and either take the one off of your transmission, or Anthony bought a chromoly one because some people say those break, especially with aftermarket clutches. So you have just a little chromoly, and you can see just from the video, this is about twice as long as the one that's in there right now. So you want to use this, and you'll want to take your fork out of this one, and all this is the same setup, the bearing and the bearing race, but this fork is a little different, and the ball sizes I've found are a little bit different. So it's always best to use the fork that's meant for that pillar or pivot ball mount. So we'll get all that swapped over. All that's looking pretty dirty, so I think we'll just take a break and move everything outside and just start cleaning everything, because all that's pretty filthy, even on that new one. It looks like the guy he bought it off of probably had the same problem we had, which is a leaky oil pan or maybe just clutch. You can see there's clutch material all in that. So we'll get this cleaned up so it looks new, and clean this as well, and we'll go from there. We finally got the Scotch-Brite, got it all clean, so now we're gonna put it on. Now we have the new seal. The kit you buy from O'Reilly's comes with a little gasket, which they used to put on them, but now they don't even do this from the factory. They just mega grade it. So I prefer to just listen to the factory. It was just mega grade, so we mega grade it to go back on. Also, when Anthony came back with the kit, the O'Reilly's people don't even know what they're talking about. They come with the O-rings. So this is all we need. We can pull out those old O-rings and have all new seals, which is perfect because I didn't want shit to leak. So this is the old pilot bearing, which we're reusing the fork and the pilot bearing holder, I guess you could call it, from the cd-001. So just got a socket that fits right here, and we're going to beat that down to get the old bearing off, and then we'll use this to clamp it back together to press the new one on. And as I showed you just a couple minutes ago, he bought the Inconel or chromoly, whatever one this is. It's chromoly, isn't it? Yeah, chromoly pivot ball. So we've already uninstalled the cd-009 one and put this one on. And already cleaned this up. It's ready to get some anti-seize for when we put that bearing holder on. Okay, so as you can see by the silver there, we got anti-seize, and don't have too much, just enough. And we cleaned the fork up. We already popped it on the pivot ball back there, so it's ready to go. It's flash to pass.
Yeah, pull back, it's a flash. If you push forward, it's constant. But then
Okay, running a little behind schedule, so I didn't show you that I got that pan on, but it's on and glued. We got the engine flipped back on its the normal way, on its back, I guess, or bottom, whatever you say. So I've got it lifted up, and now we need to put no, we need to slide this out. We need to take the OEM pilot bearing out and put in the Nismo one that Anthony bought. So we'll do that now. So you see the design of them. You just screw this down and it spreads this out. It's got that little lip. As you can hear, Tony stopped by with his twin turbo Nismo, and Anthony hasn't had a ride in it yet, so he's gonna go give him a ride, and Anthony's gonna come back and want to put twin turbos that I actually have waiting for him in there whenever he has money to do it. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. We already got this in there, and all you got to do is put that, screw this onto here and hammer it off. Okay, as y'all can see, this is the Nismo bearing, and see all those little needles in there? That is what makes the difference between this, where this is a brass overlay onto like graphite, so it's not actually even solid metal in here, where this is all solid metal and then has all those needle bearings, so it will ride on your input shaft. So we just need to press this in just like the old one was, and then we can put the flywheel on. As you can see, it's all installed. So brand new Nismo pilot bearing. So now we can go to the chromoly flywheel, and as you can see, there's a little dowel there, and that's to make sure your timing matches the front, so all your sensors are synced. And the little pickup points here, I've removed the sensor so we don't damage it while it's down here. So you can see the little dowel right there. You just make sure that goes in that hole. It's pretty simple. Got the flywheel on there.
Vagina.
Pushing out on each speed.
Okay, this is where the thumbnail comes in. Concept Z sent us the wrong pressure plate. So right when I was about to put the clutch on, we have no pressure plate. They sent us a Z32. So I don't know how they got that mixed up. They look very different, but they did. They wanted to overnight it, which it was their mess up, but whatever. They did ship the new part without us having to ship the old pressure plate, so that's good, I guess. But anyway, I'm waiting for Anthony to show up for that, and we're going to finish the clutch install, then take the brand new, or the used cd-009 and mate it to the 03 engine. So that's out of a 05. This is a 3, same bolt pattern, no difference there. Then tomorrow, because it's Friday night right now, or evening, about to be 4, I guess, not really evening, but we've got to JB weld this because this is all wet, as you can see, so I'm afraid it's going to leak. So I'm just going to do a healthy coat of JB weld on it just in case, because we don't want to buy a new rack. But that seems to be the only issue. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to put the headers on, which may be Megan Racing. I don't know. We didn't take the heat wrap all the way off to see if there was any badging. We just fixed and repaired what needed to be repaired. So we're gonna bolt these on the engine and put the transmission on, and then put it in here tomorrow. So yeah, that's the game plan. So Anthony just showed up with new pressure plate, so we can go ahead and bolt the clutch on now. I have time-lapsed a transmission install on an engine once before on my channel, and that's probably the only time I will. But the newish cd-009 is on. I got that tight and this tight, and we've got to go around and torque the rest of the bolts. Anthony's cleaning the exhaust ports, and then we already got the headers. Well, as you can see by that last clip and this, those headers are not on. Should have known something was up when they were $80, I guess, but whatever. Thought I was just getting a good deal. But these don't even remotely fit. They've already been notched over here, over there, and like we were over here. This one was actually, you can see where it was rubbing the whole time, and that was the stud of it. So we would have had to port all those out quite a bit, and then the runners probably wouldn't have lined up, maybe the exhaust wouldn't have lined up. Just throw them away. They were not being used for a reason. So that's unfortunate. So shout out to the dude who sold that shit to me, because fuck you, you owe me $80. But yeah, this is all put back together now. Got all the front end put back together from when I took off the oil pump. Anthony's in the engine bay right now doing the JB weld. And like I said a few minutes ago, we'll probably just call it a day after this. Let the JB weld dry, and we'll stab the engine in. So as you can see, we've just bled it. We're trying to stress the system right now, see if we get anything to leak. So got the cap on, the bleeder on. He's revving it a little bit. That way we can kind of get as much heat in the system as we can. That way if it's going to overheat, it's going to do it right now. We've already heard bled everything else. So power steering looks like it's holding just fine as well. So yeah. She's back on the ground, ready for the maiden journey. Maiden voyage. That's what I was looking for. Got a beautiful Oklahoma sunset coming in. My phone's kind of messing up the colors. It's a little more pink out here than orange, and then that's a little bluer, but the car's having to relearn itself because of the lighter flywheel. How's the clutch feel?
There is no clutch.
Just to show you real fast, this is the aftermath of bleeding it. So I mean, it's driving, so we didn't fuck it up too bad. You know, we had the whole fucking engine, drivetrain, diff, all of that out. We broke some power steering lines. I don't see any leaks from his drive out, just wetness from our shenanigans. So we're gonna watch it for a couple days and then bring it back to the shop and do a bolt check. But I think we're gonna end it here. So it's good. I got third gear again. See? So there you go. He's got third gear. That's the whole reason why we pulled it. He's not pulling it back in the garage, so obviously there's no big problem. So we're going to end it here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like down at the bottom and subscribe to the channel for more content.